Well, out of the 1.4 billion Catholics in the world, nearly 300 million of them reside in Africa. And as the world prepares to lay Pope Francis to rest, we look at his special relationship with the African continent. The late pontiff made 5 trips to Africa, visiting 10 countries. Welcomed with adoration, Pope Francis spoke truth to power while demonstrating mercy and forgiveness. NTV's senior reporter Catherine Omwanto examines Pope Francis's close ties with the Church.
When Pope Francis set foot in Africa in 2015, it was not just another papal visit. It was a declaration of solidarity with the people of the continent.
When he met the young people at Kasarani, what does he say? Corruption is like a cancer. It eats you slowly, slowly, slowly. So the best is to stop it. Otherwise, you die with it. And it's not far-fetched to say that there is a lot of it here. And so he was not afraid to speak truth to power.
In the capital of the Central African Republic, Bangui, he visited a mosque. It is also here that he broke tradition and opened the Jubilee Year of Mercy, not in St. Peter's Basilica, but in a country ravaged by conflict, choosing proximity to pain over pomp.
So shifting peripheries to become centers, that's wonderful. And in the end, actually, we should question ourselves, in the end, what is periphery, what is center? A language that we need to deconstruct. So every local community can be center, elevating and also calling us, in a sense, to communion ecclesiology, that each diocese is linked to others and to the universal church.
In 2017, he was in Egypt to promote interfaith dialogue. 2 years later, in 2019, he traveled to Mozambique, Madagascar, and Mauritius, countries hard hit by climate change. He emphasized environmental stewardship, economic fairness, and the sacredness of creation.
I hope in heaven they meet Wangari Maathai and Pope Francis, because they shared this dream to care, to protect, to seek justice for the... And when there is environmental degradation, who suffers most? The poor.
After being postponed because of his ill health, Pope Francis's final African journey came in 2023 to the Democratic Republic of Congo, where half the population professed the Catholic faith. He would later travel to South Sudan, where his visit brought hope to the people there. Later, he would invite South Sudanese leaders to the Vatican, where in his frail state, he displayed raw humility.
He kneels down, you remember? And he kisses the feet of the leaders to show them that if you really want to be a leader, humility is a core. But also, leadership means a responsibility to make those around you rise and to make an impact not for you, but for others. Did we listen? Did the South Sudanese listen? That's a challenge. The question, nothing.
Dr. Marcel Uwineza knows firsthand the cost of conflict. His relatives were killed during the 1994 Rwandan genocide.
The president of Rwanda visited Pope Francis in Rome, and Pope Francis offered an institutional apology for the mistakes, on the institutional mistakes of the church in Rwanda. Did the Catholic Church or leaders of the Catholic Church send anyone to kill? No. But the long history of Rwanda and the relationship between missionaries and Belgian colonizers cannot exculpate the role of leadership in Rwanda's history. So Pope Francis did apologize, offer an apology, and that set really a cause of a new relationship between the government and the church in Rwanda. And of course, even more importantly, the healing for the victims.
But the Pope was not without controversy.
Una persona è gay e cerca il Signore e ha buona volontà, ma chi sono io per giudicarla?
Near to the end of his reign, he authorized priests to bless same-sex couples, provided it was done discreetly and outside formal church rites. This drew criticism from more conservative corners of the African Church.
Na kwa kweli hatuamini kwamba ilikuwa ni yeye pase. Ni msukumo wa watu fulani.
It's important to always ask, as Pope Francis has, if you want to summarize part of his life, is who is missing at our table? It's not condoning, but he's also saying, let's first of all listen to them. Maybe we judge too quickly.
Pope Francis followed the footsteps of St. John Paul II, who visited 25 countries on the continent, and Pope Benedict XVI, who visited 3. But it seems that it was Pope Francis who truly walked with the people of Africa, listening, learning, and loving. And with over 281 million Catholics on the continent, it seems his legacy will live long beyond his years. Catherine Omwando, NTV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Catherine. The burial of Pope Francis will take place tomorrow at 11 a.m. Kenyan time, and NTV will be giving you a wall-to-wall coverage of the live proceedings.